Right. Hi. Good evening, everybody. I don't know why this screen's a bit fuzzy like that. It shouldn't be fuzzy, should it? Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about why you shouldn't go out the bottle. It's a big killer, isn't it? Basically, the relapse is so bad. It kills a lot. Well, nearly killed me. Let me see if the screen's any better. No, it's terribly grainy, isn't it? Relapse for most people will happen as a natural course of trying to stop. But when you relapse, a lot of times you get something called the kindling effect, which is very dangerous. It's sort of what takes us back to the drink. A number of reasons. I mean, what took me back wasn't really a craving. I sort of felt as if drinking was a big part of my life, and I wanted the social side back. Good evening, everybody who's joining. I want the social side back because it was such a. Hey, Paul, how you doing? I've been in Paul. Paul. Good evening. I wanted the social side back. I wanted to feel normal again when I'd been off, and I thought I could control it. And that's the dangerous part. When you feel good, you tend to gravitate back towards it. That's really bad. So what happens is you become too cocky, too sure of yourself, and you think, "Oh, I can handle this," but you can't handle it. Adam, how are you doing? Good evening. Nick, hi, how are you doing? Hope we're all well. I'm just trying to talk about relapse here because I think that's the most dangerous part of alcohol addiction. Going back to it, going back to the bottle, and why you shouldn't go back, because if you go back, it's going to take you straight back to square one again, and that's the place you don't want to be. Because even after 8 years, I was sober. I went back, and in a few days, I was drinking full time. How does that happen? Strange, isn't it? Same when people get liver transplants. I mean, I know it's quite rare to have a liver transplant, but I know of a few people who have spoken to, families involved, where their sons, daughters, partners had liver transplant and then went hit the drink again, and then they've died because your body can't take it. Psychologically, you can't take it either, and it's not something to be taken lightly. I don't think alcohol misuse, alcohol use disorder is taken serious enough. To be honest with you, it's just seen as a habit, and it's like it's one of these things where you want to fit in again, but you'll never get the same buzz, as you used to get. And I was amazed how quickly, after 8 years off it, I was back on it again. And it just amazes me how people, even after 20 years, can go back and they'll be really ill. What about when it's straight in gambling? I've never done the gambling as well. I mean, that must be even worse. Sorry. Mapex, thank you for that. Adam, yeah, if you drink and you gamble, then it's double this. So you know what I mean. So it's one of these things where you've got to really take the bull by the horns, and you've got to be pragmatic about it. And say, well, I can't drink. Just grow up a little bit. It's incredibly powerful the way it gets you, and it can be. Well, it's life-threatening, isn't it? But the doctors don't seem to be taking it that seriously. I don't think they took me seriously anyway. Hi, Dennis, how are you doing? And that's somebody from Italy, isn't it? Or Ireland. You need to take it seriously yourself for your own health. And you've got to be selfish with it a little bit, and forget about other people for a while, because a lot of alcoholics are very sensitive people, and they worry about other people instead of worrying about themselves. But there's a very experienced doctor said to me, who I met the other day, it must be about late 70s now, years ago. She said, if you don't look after yourself, you can't look after anybody else. So what takes us back to the bottle? Socializing, boredom. A lot of times people get bored. That's where you have to fill your time in. Nick, I remember more times than I can remember. Must be at least 9 times. This time, this time, almost sober and feel like the switch. Yeah, you've got to keep sober. Chris Hughes, I can't stress how much I hate alcohol. Hope you all, Steve. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, you've got to learn to hate it. You've got to learn to love sobriety, haven't you? Paul, after another relapse, learning from you, fully aware of the killing effect now. Good. It just makes everything worse. Paul, it is a very scary time. Ginger, I think a lot of it's boredom. It is boredom, but you've got to fill your time with something else. It's boring lying in hospital being told you're going to die. You know what I'm saying? And you've got to really pull yourself out of it, because you're in a deep rut, a really deep rut, and it's not easy. Hello, Michael. It's one of these things. If you pull yourself out of it, you're going to really struggle to get out. Once you're out, you've got to stay sober. But a lot of people I speak to and mentor and support can stop. And once you've stopped, it's all in here, isn't it? Not to relapse. Even after 2 years of being in hospital and a couple of operations I've had, I didn't have a liver transplant or anything like that, but I was in ICU, had a hernia cut away and all this sort of thing, had a stent put in my liver, a few other things. Even then, I thought, I wonder what it's like to have just one. But what's the point of having one? Because we're not drinkers who want one, will we? 110, 20. That's where we fall down. But what takes us back? The main thing I say is you want to be fitting in again. Because sometimes, no, you can't have one, Nick. Gee, it's impossible. We're in the minority now. But in a way, that's good, isn't it? Most people drink. We don't. Most of trying to get off it. And you'll feel a bit isolated. But when you come back stronger, you'll be king of the pub in a different way. If you want to go to the pub, or you go for a nice meal, or you'll save some money, or you'll have a better car, you'll have holidays, you'll not be in the shit all the time. You maybe get a different job, you get promoted, all sorts of things will happen. Everything will get better when you're sober. When you're drinking alcohol, everything gets worse. And you become tied to it, you become completely controlled to it. And, well, not controlled by it. And it becomes, it's an addiction now. It takes over your life. And you have no other, and you become devious, you start to lie and all this sort of thing. And it becomes your life. It became my life. And in the end, I nearly died because of it. Lots of people do die because of it. I've got a few questions that came in. If you want to ask any questions, feel free. And let me have a look at the first one here. Right, okay. Why it feels impossible to stop. It's probably because I just said that, because you don't want to be. If you've been drinking your life sober, I don't know if they've gone off there a little bit. The internet seems right from the phone. Can you still hear me all right? If you're struggling with signal, Steve, yeah, I don't know what's happened there. Is it back now? The signal should be okay. I don't know why it's not. If not, I'll just turn this laptop, you see. Can you hear me now? Hope so. Yes, why do you feel it's to stop? Even though I was told to stop by the doctor. I thought, I can't stop. What am I going to do with my time? When I'm going to say to the lads at work, or I'm going to say to the lads in the boozer, I can't go in there and drink orange juice. I'm only 31 at the time. When I was told to stop. I told to cut down anyway, and I just couldn't envision myself being sober. I couldn't see myself being off for a year. Pints and day off, I thought was quite justifiable. I knew a lot of people who drank that amount. Always in double figures when we went out. So it was 20, 25. It's just a mad world, isn't it, when you drink? And that's where I struggle. And I just want to help people to get off it, and stay off it is the most important. So my message is get sober and stay sober, because staying sober is the hardest part. If you're enjoying the stream and you want to support the channel, then please feel free to drop a super chat. It helps the content go on, keeps me able to produce the content, you know what I mean? And it makes this channel stronger. And I'll read your messages out and give you a round of applause if you want. It's nice to get some support. And I think we're all supporting each other on here. Hello, Samantha, how are you? Nice to see you. I'm just talking about the why it feels impossible to stop. And I've gone through a few things, the boredom aspect, the fact that you're so used to it, it's a habit. And you have to change your habits, and you have to become independent again. You get your confidence back, and you look and feel better. That's a massive thing. Dealing with cravings. I didn't have cravings as such, which is good. I was more emotionally connected to it. And because I drank since the age of 14, 15, I just couldn't see my life without it. And that was a struggle for me, not the craving. Where's everyone's best ever hiding place for alcohol? Well, my best one was in Epping Forest in a hole. Black bin liner full of bottles and cans. Never got rumbled at, Never got rumbled. I used to put this like a hardboard type thing over it, and just cover it with a bit of grass and a bit of mud. But not many people went in the forest, to be honest, where I hid it. I found a good place, obviously. I couldn't leave it in the house because my ex used to be quite good at finding things, at hidden them. A bit of a battle of wills. That's a totally different story. Again, there's another question here. Oh, hello, Dave, DD. Thanks for that donation. Brilliant super chat there, £10. Thank you very much. Every donation will help me to improve the channel, keep going, get us all stronger. And I want to hit this maybe 1,000 viewers at once by Christmas would be good, wouldn't it? And maybe hire a hall somewhere and do a chat, a group chat. Drinking was always sociable. Yeah, that's part of our life, isn't it? The hole, it was a proper effort. I had to dig a hole. I was too frightened to get in court. I could just go. Can you imagine what happened? I had gone to Epping Forest with the police at the time, and 2 coppers from Essex come up and said, "What are you doing digging a fucking hole in the field for?" Hello, Mark. Because I felt panic and anxiety just thinking about not drinking. That's the problem, isn't it? And the panic and anxiety comes along. It's also linked to paranoia as well. And you can't live a normal life. You feel disrupted going in the shop. You feel as if you're going to faint. The impending doom as well of anxiety after you had a long session. You know everyone's going to go wrong. Again, thanks, DD, for that fantastic super chat. If you want to drop a super chat, that would be great. It keeps the content going. I get some new equipment. I need definitely better screen than this. Jamie, they're all-inclusive holidays. Oh, I only went on one. 7 days boozing. My daughter was 2. Can you imagine? I remember just going to this child thing, but kids were there, and I thought I'd sit on one of these plastic seats and it collapsed. Jesus Christ, what a carry on. 7 days on the booze. I had to go to work on the following Monday, 7 days after, and I looked ill. Hadn't put any sun lotion on, and I looked as red as not a beetroot, but red sauce, tomato sauce. Terrible. Charlotte Rockwell Kennedy, hi from Germany. Good evening at you. Daniel, thoughts on being drunk once? 9, 10 Guinness, 9, 10, once a week, not a problem really. I don't do any good. I had cans in my cupboard behind tools. Couldn't get many in there, but they didn't last long. That's the thing. The worst thing is hiding them somewhere, feeling anxious, and then coming out and thinking, Jesus Christ, I don't know where the booze is. Then you tear the place apart, don't you, trying to find it. And that's all panic, it's all stress, isn't it? Alcohol is a full-time job. 100% full-time job. You do meet some amazing people drinking in pubs. I mean, that's why I went. Character pubs in London. There was all sorts of folk in there, from multi-millionaires to criminals to actors, musicians, all this sort of thing. You don't get that so much in the Northeast, but all characters in their own way. I mean, Wetherspoons, that's a classic example for characters. I mean, low-level characters. A lot of lies in there as well. I used to have a yacht type people, and they're sitting in Wetherspoons with half of light ale. That sort of nonsense. Evening all, JGUK, Birmingham. Used to be all-exclusive. Used to love an all-exclusive. It was acceptable to drink at breakfast. Yeah, I remember the one I went on, I had wine in the morning, didn't I? Bacon, eggs and wine. I never had wine. I had a lager, though. How can I give some money to you? You can donate on here on Switch, or you can use the Buy Me a Coffee link, Chris. It's on the main channel link. The Buy Me a Coffee one's good. That's probably the easiest one. Chris, thank you very much for doing that. Jamie, Sunny Delight bottles, half orange juice, half vodka. Yeah, this is a question that came up today. I'm speaking to somebody who's doing a one-to-one. He drank vodka, and I asked, why do you drink vodka? Why do a lot of alcoholics go into vodka? That's a good question, isn't it? So I never drank spirits. I tried it, it didn't make me feel well. Am I free to speak? I know we have differences. Quentin, speak as much as you want. Quentin, crisp and dried. Well done. I remember the film about him. Kojak, that's the worst when you start hiding booze. Of course it is, yeah. Because you're only kidding yourself, when you start hiding booze. I had it in the car, I had it under the bath panels, I had it in the loft, in my own garden, and obviously in Epping Forest, all over the place. I heard somebody say the other day that used to have a fish pond and put it in there in a plastic bag, black plastic bag. You can't see it in the water, and then you just fish it out. There's a lot of effort goes into boozing, isn't it? If you put all the man hours from boozing into a business, we'd all be multi-millionaires, wouldn't we? Charlotte, I follow trying to understand an alcoholic way of life. My ex-partner died at 43 through drinking. Now, my husband, who's a policeman, is also an alcoholic. Well, friend of our ex-police. There's a thread there, but then again, doctors drink, dentists drink, solicitors drink, social workers drink, bus drivers drink, soldiers drink. It runs through every job, isn't it? Marie, even from South Shields, that's not far away from me. Stuart Hall, as you warned, weather. Yeah, the weather's been dreadful today. Jane, my mate, put his Chenin Blanc wine in the freezer for a quick chill. It was his last bottle. That he then placed it in hot water to melt it. Jesus, that'll be all knackered, wouldn't it? The worst is running out, isn't it? The worst feeling in the world is running out. Absolutely dreadful. And you were pained that always had vodka in his white spirits bottle. Can you imagine getting what happens if you get them mixed up? White spirits and vodka mixed up. You drink vodka and white spirits. As I said, if you benefit from the channel, want to support us, then please feel free to drop a sort of chat. Doesn't matter how much it is. It'll help me keep creating content. I do videos every day, as you've noticed. I might do too many. If I'm doing too many, let me know. If you want me to cover any particular subjects that I will do. Vodka bottle you get filled with water. Yeah, well, people do that on the planes, don't they? I met someone on a plane once, and they were drinking water. I thought was water, but it turned out to be vodka. They were staggering around when they got off the plane. Some woman, high heels, nearly fell on the bloody stairs. Quentin and dried. I used to hate running out. That's the issue. The panic of running out, you know what I mean? And you think, what's going to happen next? I remember when I used to get dial a drink, I had so much Stella, right? Nobody could drink it. It was 48 slabs. It played in my mind, you know. It just it took over. Why did I need 48 slabs? 48 slabs of Stella. I mean, that's 24 cans by 48, whatever that is. A lot of cans. And I didn't really like it. I liked the bottles. We didn't do bottles. Dial a Drink were a company who came out late at night and charged masses of money. Oh, thanks for the coffees, Peter. That's good of you. The panic of waking up with no drink. Oh, yeah. Nick here, this is a good one. The panic of waking up with no drink. I couldn't even get the pub. Someone's had to ask a special mate, you know, so we'd known for years. One of the lads to drop me some cans off. He was at work. I'd wait until he's finished. So he'd try and get some time in his lunchtime. So you become beholden to people, and you get so desperate for a drink that you'll pay over the odds. One of the lads on here the other night paid 12 quid for 4 cans of cider. Absolute madness, you know. Really bad. I've got a few messages coming on the channel now. The fear is so real at times. It is. It's a palpable fear. You panic, your heart races, and you feel dreadful, sweating, all that sort of thing. Have you ever woken up with a urine salt matter? 100 times. Yeah, I used to sleepwalk as well. I remember somebody told me the staff next day wandered around the hotel with no clothes on us whatsoever. But I was young and fit then, so it wasn't so bad. Well, that's my story anyway. Did anyone else have extra strong mints? Oh, of course. I tell you what I used to have. You remember them little mouth sprays, minty mouth sprays? I used to have about 4 or 5 of them when I was in uniform to hide the smell of the night before. Those little sprays. I think you still get them from Savers, about 50p. What happened a few times? Yeah, it's actually so embarrassing buying alcohol in the morning. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Brains. It's still very stigmatized. Gold spot, that's it somewhere now. You must be showing your age there. You must be over 50. If you remember, Gold Spot mouth freshener. Fantastic stuff. Now people use mints. It's not as good as our Gold Spot. So it was quite, I say glamorous, but it was quite a good thing to have in a little tube of that. I have not my urine nor my husband's. I was sleeping on a different bed because he's paying himself presumably. We've got 51 people on. Let's try and get to 100, please, if you don't mind. If you know anybody who's hanging on the edge who won't come in because they're a bit shy, it'd be nice to get 100 people. I think what most we've had so far is 80. We'll surely get 100. We'll get to 100 this weekend, without a doubt. It's a terrible thing, Charlotte, when you live with somebody who's an alcoholic. I can imagine. My daughter actually did some at university, some sort of thesis thing about children of alcoholics. Her and her 3 colleagues wrote a book, and I'll try and get a link to it if she still got it. A long time ago, about 12 years ago, she did it. I was too embarrassed to read it. So many capable people have issues like alcohol. We shouldn't beat ourselves up, but we have issues. If you realise how much more we'll be able to achieve. Well, thanks, Dave. That's a very good point. A lot of us are very capable people. A lot of us are very intelligent people, and we are embarrassed by the fact that alcohol has destroyed, in some cases, our lives. We shouldn't be embarrassed. It's an illness, isn't it? It's not because we drank too much. In the old days, people say, "Oh, he just drinks too much. He's a drunk." I think I was a drunk. It just took over my life. I was chemically addicted. Resolved to stop. Yeah, cheers. Is this every night now? Nick, I can do 9 most nights. But if I get the support and I get a few super chats in, I will do 9 o'clock. No problem at all. If you put a super chat in, I'll highlight your message and I'll give you a shout out as well. Don't have to be a lot. Just keep the channel up and running. Quentin Crispin Dry. The drink can be so powerful that the social drink can become a lonely man. Well, of course it is. Yeah. If you go to any of these early doors pubs, there's mainly guys sitting there pretending to read a newspaper, looking very forlorn and very pissed off with life. You don't see very happy drunks, do you? Yeah, thumbs up. That's very true. Yeah, good call. Thanks very much, Christopher, for the coffees. That's much appreciated. If you can't donate on here, you can go on the coffee link, which is good as well. Good call, Charlotte. Yeah. Thanks, Dave. Steve Jones, this channel is easier to open up on than to worry. Yeah, that's a good point, Steve. Anyone can come on here and say what they want. Nobody's going to judge you because we've been at the bottom of the bottle and back, haven't we? Some of us, and some of us just hanging on. Some of us are fully recovered. Dave DD has been sober for 20 years, so congratulations to him. 20 years is amazing, isn't it? And I was sober for 8 and I still went back on it. But I couldn't now. So I've got too much to lose. I've got a fantastic partner. I've got a fantastic life now. I'm helping new people. And there's nothing better than helping people, It's a hell of a buzz when you can help people. And I've had messages from people say, "You saved my son's life." What's better than that? There's nothing better than that, is there? Somebody can actually say, "You've saved my son's life." Incredible. Easy to open up and you can speak up your mind here. Finding yourself locked out of the house and having to sleep in the garden. Yeah, that's happened to me a lot. Cheers, DD. Appreciate that. I was often sleeping in the car. That was more domestic rows than alcohol-induced mind. Morning drinking is a big warning sign. No hangover, such just a nervous breakdown and tortious withdrawal. Yeah, when you go from hangover to withdrawal, I've mentioned this before. That's a dangerous time because hangovers are, the cloudy brain fog and all that, feeling a bit rough, dry throat, dry mouth. That's a hangover. When you go to withdrawal, you start to shake and your heart's pounding. All that. That's a different ballgame. Seizures as well, 100%. I had seizures. I did have a couple of blackouts, Quentin, in Epping Forest. Well, I think I did. I would come home on the underground after maybe a day out in the West End, and then walk through the forest home, and wake up in the forest 6 o'clock in the morning, and have hell on at home, obviously. And I vaguely remember getting to the last underground train about 12:30, and vaguely remember walking in the forest, and where have I been for 5 hours? Laid in the forest. I mean, it was much warmer down there, isn't it, in the northeast? Mainly summertime. I used to lose myself a bit. I always drank more in the summer because the pubs were vibrant and there's people outside and all that, Yeah, that's true. It isn't a good sign. If you start drinking in the morning, then you become a top drinker. But if you start drinking in the morning, you'll drink more and more. Because what will happen is, you're going to drink, say, 10 o'clock, have a couple of drinks. Then you'll need to drink the rest of the day. Because you can't just come off it again. Can't stop. Alcohol is the most expensive club in the world. It takes away all that you've got. It's very true that, yeah. And if you, like somebody mentioned earlier, if you have a gambling addiction as well, you could be bang up in a day, couldn't you? People put thousands on a red or black, and they'll have no money left by 24 hours later. They've got the house on the line. You're going to be very careful what you do when you're drinking with making bad decisions. We all make bad decisions when we've had a drink. Men and women do. It's just one of those things. It's not good. It's a terrible, terrible thing. To me, it's not taken serious enough by the medics. I'll say that because that's my view. And I wasn't treated particularly well. I wasn't given any diazepam, and I hadn't had any for 8 years. And they came out with this bullshit about, you'll be addicted. How can I be addicted, doctor, when I haven't had any for 8 years? Oh, it's a policy. So I saw another doctor and said exactly the same. policy. Nothing about addiction. I never need the drink when I wake up. Yeah, I drink a lot. I never need the drink when I wake up. Yeah, drunk a lot. Maybe not an alcoholic. You're a heavy drinker, though. I mean, I would class an alcoholic, in my view, as when I needed one to function. You get out of bed and get in the shower and get to work. I didn't do it that much. My problems came when I retired. I came back to the Northeast, so I didn't want to come back to the Northeast. I was sort of forced into it. I'd gone south when I was younger, and I enjoyed the buzz down there. When I came back, I thought, God, it's a bit dull here. But it's just not dull now because my life's improved massively, because of personal reasons. And yeah, that was the thing. I found I got a bit depressed with it all, and that turned into an alcoholic. Then I think I was always a heavy drinker. I enjoyed it. Heavy drinker, yeah. Alcoholics need a drink to function. They need a drink to calm down because we're all overthinkers, caring overthinkers. We're very sensitive people. Even binge drinking is alcoholism. It can be, Rains, yeah, it can be. But to me, alcoholism is drinking every day because you need to try and feel normal. And if you're doing that, you've got serious issues. You need to put the brakes on. Like I said before, I think there's 5 stages here that we go through with alcohol. We socially drink, which most people can do. Then we moderately drink, which most people can do. Then we drink heavily, which a few people do, maybe 20% of the population. Then that's just 3 stages. 3.5 is when you're drinking heavily and you're causing issues with your health, finances, family, relationships, but you still carry on. That's the start of the addiction phase, 3.5. And then 4 is when you get to my stage, when you've got symptoms and you feel really ill and you can't function. You can't exist without a drink. So stage 3, heavy drinking. Stage 3.5, you're drinking it heavily and you know that there's bad things around the corner for you, but you still do it because you feel the need to do it. That's what our class does. Alcohol means tap never turned off. Yeah, good point, Adam. So modern alcoholism to me is alcohol dependent. Yeah, that's what I mean. Have a drink every day because you need it. You need to get in the shower. You need to have something to eat. You need to function. You need to speak to people. And I just think it's just taking over your life, isn't it? It'll take over your life. It'll destroy you. It'll become your main source of entertainment. And you can't just stop if you're dependent because you could have seizures and massive withdrawal problems. There's lots of issues with it. I'm glad people are asking some questions here. Are we just weak, Stephen? No, we're not just weak. We're strong people. Anybody who's got sober is very strong. Anybody who's on here is strong. At least you're telling your story. You're not in denial anymore. I know plenty of people are in denial, and they're weak to me. So I didn't drink as much as him, as much as her. Only drink this, so the bollocks. They're dependent, and that's it. But they just won't see it. They can't see it. I've got a couple of doctor friends, and they say everybody lies about their alcohol intake. But I said before, when the doctors tell you to stop drinking, you just ignore them. When they tell you to stop going to the sun because you've got skin cancer, you stop going to the sun, don't you? When they tell you to lose weight because your blood pressure is high, you lose a bit of weight. Alcoholism, when I was told, and when I was about 30, you must slow down and stop and get off it, I thought, I know best. I'm not going to stop because some doctor told me. You know what I'm saying? There are different types of problem drinkers, very complex condition. Thanks, DD. I agree with that, yeah. There's all types of alcoholic. But mainly, I would say dependent, I was 17 days sober. I was away with friends over the weekend, decided to drink 0 alcohol beers. Part of me felt uneasy about it, and I have doubt it was a mistake. Live and learn. Well, as long as you didn't drink alcohol, obviously, then it's fine, isn't it? It's when you drink alcohol, there's going to be problems. So you've got to be careful. I mean, alcohol beers, alcohol-free beers are good for me, but they aren't good for everybody. So I'm not going to encourage it, but it was. It's like what suits you matters to somebody else. It certainly helped me. We've got 74 people here. We need another 26. And like I said, if you want to drop us a chat, if you enjoy the streams, then please do. It doesn't have to be a lot. Just it'll help me to keep producing things, content, newsletters, posts, this sort of thing. This has been really good. Bit of a learning curve for me, this. I've only done it for 7 days. and it's been good for other people. I've got a lot of feedback from it because it's somebody to talk to, especially at night. Alcoholism at night, alcoholics are really lost, really lost. So many people have lost their lives. Oh, of course they have. 3 million a year. Alcohol-related deaths were the highest ever last year. Yeah, they have people's lives around them, family, relationships, and all this sort of thing have gone, and work, businesses have collapsed, all this sort of thing. So people keep talking. I'm frying steak. Right, okay. Well, so I've got this ribeye steak. I'm not going to have it. It's a bit late. I bought the other day, but I've been busy today. Yeah, that's very true, DD. We do wreck other people's lives unknowingly by our selfishness caused by alcoholism. It doesn't. I never started out in life to be an alcoholic. I wanted to be a good man. I'm a good man now, and I'm very loved now. I was hated, I think, by people when I was drinking. Charlotte, I appreciate you helping others, Stephen. Thanks, Charlotte. I said if you want to drop a super thanks in, a super chat thing. I've only done this a few days. I don't really know how this works, but I know that supporting the channel is a good way to get it boosted. And I want to help everybody on here. I don't want anybody to fall by the wayside, because to lose one person would be tragic, wouldn't it? Now we've got a good group of regulars. You don't want to hear that somebody's in hospital, or somebody's passed away, or somebody's had an accident, or somebody's committed suicide. Suicide's linked to alcoholism, isn't it? Especially among men. Like Stephen, if you ever start a podcast, you call it "What Was All That About?" Yeah, that's a good point, Terry. You picked up on that one. What's all that about? That's come in my life a few times. What's all that about? And pouting as well on videos. That's a bad thing. I think you've said it before, Steve. It's all down to mindset. If you want to stay, 100%, yeah. Yeah, John, well done for getting off the booze. Fantastic. You've done really well. In 7 months sober is fantastic. You'll get the year, no problem. Christmas time or before Christmas. Yeah. What's all that about? Alcohol makes liars of us. It's awful. And most of us, I'm sure, are truthful people. Of course, you become deceitful because you want to protect your stock, protect yourself. Always help those that are weak or point them in the right. Yeah, 100%. I lived in denial for a long time, and me, all my life. To be honest with you, it was only until the doctor said you're going to die if you drink that I really had to take notice, and I was seriously ill. So I left it to the last night and I nearly died. Don't let it get that far. I won't stop saying what's it all about. So that's just my sort of tagline. What's all that about? I've always said that. I don't know why. Things I don't understand, and according to my partner, I don't understand a lot. So I'll probably say what's all that about to virtually everything she mentions. However, moving on. Right. Managing social situations without drinking. I did it through no alcohol beer, no alcohol-free beer. Other people do it by not going to functions. But I don't go to a lot of functions. But I still go for a meal. My partner, I still go to a wedding. I see my daughter, Manchester, would go out for a meal and that sort of thing. So you still got to live. You can't just say, well, I don't drink, I'm not going to do anything. But you tend to do more healthy habits. You tend to take more healthy habits. You do more healthy things in life. We do drink to cope with stress. Loneliness is a big one as well, And from loneliness, you get anxiety, depression, all mixed in, and that causes issues because people who are lonely will turn to something, and they can turn to this now instead of having a drink. My doctor told me that 15 years ago. Well, yeah, the doctors do tell you. Some people survive, some people don't. And I said I was, today in a pub, had no drink and feel good. Well, that's brilliant, Catherine. Well done. If you can go into a pub and survive without having a drink, you've done well. A lot of people say don't go into pubs, but I go in for a bit of research and to see some people I know, and to see a few haters of mine, just to wind them up. There's a few reasons I go in the pub, but I don't stay long. If I go in and sweat for 20 minutes, and they've had a few drinks, and they're talking rubbish, really, to be fair, and I can't bother with rubbish.